Hello, and welcome to my new and first podcast / YouTube channel called Moor Chat. My name is Sarka-jo, and I have lived in Garrigill since 2019, and I have various strings to my bow and fingers in pies, including an Airbnb and walking and swimming business, amongst other bits and bobs. One thing I am not is internet or tech savvy, but what I do have is an ability to chat shit. Which brings me to mention this podcast may have swearing, so if you're not a fan, move on or ignore it. Thanks to him indoors, Andy Moz, for the intro music and editing. There will be no intentional controversy, but if you do take offence, again, you're welcome to move on. The aim of the pod is to meet a different character, person or group of people who live or do business on Alston Moor. Every couple of months I'll change the theme of the pod, and my first theme is women in business. Other themes may include music, community, heritage, environment, health and fitness, and food. So if you're keen to take part and potentially make a tit of yourself, or not, get in touch. I'd love to hear from you. Again, I make no apologies for the content. The idea is my own, and myself and a whole load of business savvy women are about to take up space in your eardrums. So grab a cuppa and I'll introduce my next guest, Amanda Carroll of Temple Croft B&B. So, like I did with Lou last week, I have put you in Google. Okay.
Yes.
It's a little bit of fun. So put you in Google on AI mode and see what it tells me about you. I read it out and then...
Do I exist on Google?
You do exist.
Oh, lordy.
I know, it's scary. And then you tell me whether it's correct or not after I've said it, okay?
God.
Right.
This is worrying now.
Because it's just a way of introducing my guest without reinventing the wheel, you see.
Fair enough.
Okay, so Amanda Valentine Carroll, lovely middle name, is a prominent business owner and community figure in Alston, Cumbria. She is widely known as the co-owner of Temple Croft B&B, a popular guest house situated in the North Pennines. Her professional roles include, alongside her husband, she runs the Temple Croft B&B, which is specifically tailored for outdoor enthusiasts. The property features dedicated facilities for cyclists and walkers, such as secure bike storage and a drying room. A community development coordinator. This is the bit that I was interested in. She serves as a community development coordinator for Alston Moor.
I know somebody who is.
I know,
Not me.
and she's not called Amanda Carroll.
That's bizarre.
I know. This is exactly what I was interested to find out, you see. Like, how wrong is AI? Anyway, AI's brilliant. So, also, business advocate. Amanda has been featured by major financial institutions like the Royal Bank of Scotland and NatWest to discuss business diversification and the economic challenges facing small rural towns.
No.
Isn't that interesting?
That's bizarre. It makes me sound fantastic, though.
Well, you are fantastic, but...
No, honestly, I have no idea where they've got that from at
Isn't
all.
that crazy?
That's bizarre.
So
maybe I entered a competition once or something and won a prize and didn't know about it. Honestly, that is really weird.
I mean, what is right is that you are a prominent figure and you run Temple Croft B&B, yeah?
That's correct, certainly is. And then it starts to go a bit off piece.
So if anybody listening or viewing can tell us why Amanda would have ended up as under AI as a business advocate for the Royal Bank of Scotland and NatWest and a community development coordinator, please write the comments below.
Sounds great, though.
But yeah, offers taken. Yeah. And I'll just work on the commission.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that is exactly like why I was like, this would be interesting to find out if AI comes out with some really random stuff.
That is random. I can't even think what it could be linked to. It's not anything that I've done. I've never worked for a bank, and I have done sort of community coordination, but not here.
Yeah. So I think that it's kind of like what do you call it, meta-analysis, isn't it? Like where they bring, I mean, that's the whole idea behind it. Like they bring lots of information about you that's been on the internet at some point, and then they'll have made up that bit about you being the community development coordinator. It's
very kind of them.
Which of course is Sarah Stanford, as far as I know.
Indeed, it is. Yes.
But yeah,
a mate of mine, but certainly I don't want her job.
But it's not anymore. So you've been there, done that, is what I'm hearing. In a different part of the world?
Well, sort of theatrically speaking, yes. Definitely. Because I've always been involved in drama, and so therefore in other lives I have worked in different sort of locations, different areas, villages around where I used to live.
Right, so
did some theatre and some bit of youth work and stuff like that, but nothing for a business, not for a business.
No, but community, yeah.
Just for hobby and
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, so not business-wise. I mean, I have had proper jobs, real jobs, but not that you could describe in those terms.
Right. Okay. So we'll come on to that perhaps, because I know last week we discussed a little bit about how Louise came to be here. So do you want to tell us a little bit about how you came to be on Alston Moor?
Yeah, sure. So I'm from the southeast of England, so specifically Kent, and met Paul when we were working in London. Many moons ago. We both worked at the National Theatre on the South Bank in London, and that's how we first met. So he was in the bar and I was in the box office, but then he got promoted into the box office. So anyway, long story. So, but originally Paul's from Billingham, so near Middlesbrough. Right, yeah. So he is a northerner, and although we didn't know this area specifically, he kind of remembers holidays as a child in the vicinity, not Alston itself, but around and about. So he's not totally, exactly, he's not totally unfamiliar with the area, but we'd already decided to make a massive life change. We'd talked about running a bed and breakfast for many years. We were just waiting really for our son to get old enough to move on.
Bugger off.
Yeah, but we talked about it. Paul absolutely loves cooking and has cooked for years and years and years and absolutely adores it. And I'm sort of quite good front of house and, chatty, and I like people and I like talking to people.
We're very similar.
Yeah,
our relationship.
Exactly. Yeah.
I always say when people come through the door, I always say, I'm the gob.
Yeah.
I'm the gob and he's the genius.
Yes.
Yes. He's the creative genius and I'm the gob. Yeah.
So
not saying you're the gob.
No, I am, but pretty gobby. And Paul is less so, but he's also a very good listener.
Yeah.
So people like to talk to him. So he doesn't just hide away. He will come up front and talk to our guests. But anyway, so where were we? So Alston, how did that come about? Well, we'd already bizarrely made some sort of decision, and I'm not quite sure how this happened, that we wanted to appeal to walkers, cyclists, outdoor enthusiasts.
Yeah.
Now this could be because I didn't really want loads and loads of kids traipsing through, I don't know. But I don't know, we'd definitely come up with that idea because when we went on a bed and breakfast weekend course in Shropshire, I remember the lady was quite impressed that took the course because we'd already come up with the target audience, with our target people, because she said you've got to have in mind who you want to get through the door. And I know that we did that before we bought our Temple Croft. So anyway, so that's what we were looking for. And of course we did a bit of research in this area and then slowly started to pinpoint Alston as being, and Garrigill and then Headwood, the Bermuda Triangle. We looked at all three and properties in all three. Yeah. And by that time we were absolutely sure that we wanted to appeal to obviously walkers on the Pennine Way, cyclists doing the coast to coast. And then we came across Temple Croft and it just ticked all the boxes. Yeah. The other thing that we had to bear in mind was cost. So Alston, that you could get a good size property for what we had, we only had a very small property in Kent, but here, because the prices were good, we could look at it. We couldn't have looked at the Lake District or anything like that because it was just too expensive. So so Alston became more and more appealing.
And this was 2019.
April 2019. Yeah. So
I think Moz and I might have looked at Temple Croft. I think we were looking at the same time.
It had been on the market for at least 2 years. The family were looking after it and used it occasionally because a couple of them are still in the area. But it had been on the market for a while. Yeah. And I think they were trying to sell it as a family home because it's big. But a couple of sales had fallen through or something. So but it was just perfect. Yeah. And although it was stretching us a bit, I hadn't really thought it through as the size that I wanted. Yeah. And I think in my head, I thought we'd have a smaller enterprise. perhaps hold on to a few more pennies, but no. But to be honest, I'd have been bored.
Yeah.
You know, I really like the fact it's huge, and
But the idea was that you were buying a house and a business
yes.
at the same time.
Yeah.
And had you been in business before?
We have not run our own businesses before. We were both sort of corporate burnouts. Mm-hmm. Paul had been commuting up to London every day for years. So we were both prime targets, but neither of us had proper hands-on experience running a bed and breakfast. No. It was a complete new leap of faith. Well, so that's how
it was obviously the right leap, because you're still there 6 years later.
Seven,
nearly
next
7
month.
Yes,
yeah.
7 years later.
Yeah.
So like I've been asking, I was asking Lou last week, what would you say is the biggest challenge since moving to Alston Moor? What's the biggest challenge in business on Alston?
Survival. I mean, it's been tough. The winter is extremely tough. I have worked outside the business as well in the winter. When we first got here, we couldn't open straight away anyway, because it had been a family home. We had to put in bathrooms, we had to put in showers, we had to put in a new boiler that could manage all of the areas. And that took forever because the water flow into the house was non-existent. We had to wait for all of that, and then just when we were ready to go, having got it all decorated, got the 2 of the rooms ready to go, COVID. So it's been a big struggle, and I worked immediately because I've always worked. So I got a job in Nent Hall straight away, and I did that right up till COVID, and then I got a job in the Cumberland. And I still do that from time to time in the winter. I still work in the Cumberland, but I didn't this winter.
No.
I just thought, well, let's see how it goes. So it's been quite like, yeah.
This all sounds very familiar.
Very, very nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
But I think we've managed to just about hang on this far, and things are picking up now. Things are really picking up. We get a lot of return people.
Right, okay.
We are now on booking.com, which I stupidly didn't do straight away because I thought I didn't want to, and I wanted to see how we could manage, which was, in retrospect, foolish. But now we've got 2 rooms on there, and they're doing much better than they did.
Right.
So it's a regular.
So how many rooms do you have?
So we've got a bunkhouse that sleeps 8.
Wow.
We've got a room that sleeps 4, that's basically a twin or a double with another bunk bed in there, which is kind of like a family room, but it isn't, because a lot of cyclists use it, small groups use it.
Yeah.
We've got 3 that can also be a comfortable 2 and a double. Wow. So we can sleep 17 in the house. Wow. And then we got the cottage next door.
That's
we got that
house.
About a year or 2 after we've been here, because that came on the market. So we've also can sleep 4 in our holiday cottage next door.
Excellent.
So I would say, going back to your question, that the most challenging thing has just literally holding on in the long periods where we don't get any footfall at all.
Because it's predominantly reliant on tourists and outdoor tourists who are coming in the better weather. Exactly. Yeah.
But we're trying to diversify. So in the winter, when it's cold and miserable and there's nobody using the bedrooms, Paul puts on, we do bistro nights. So Paul
of course.
does his flamboyant cooking. Well, it's not that flamboyant actually, but it's very gorgeous. It's very gorgeous.
So because this podcast is about you, what's your role on those evenings?
Bookings and serving the food and keeping everybody happy, serving the drinks. We get a temporary events licence for the events.
Right, okay.
But I'm now looking this year at getting a full-time drinks licence, because I think it'd be very handy to do that rather than have to keep applying for separate events. So waitressing, greeting, booking, and then helping serve the food. Paul doesn't come out of the kitchen.
No.
Not till the end.
Yeah.
And he gets a little round of applause. And a drink thrust in his hand. So yeah.
Yeah. So it does sound like a very similar kind of relationship we have. Not that we do anything like that.
No.
We don't do food or drink or anything like that.
Well, it's just, and it's good PR.
But we have that kind of...
Yeah, that kind of thing, where it's very equal. Our part, Paul and I have split certain jobs that we do. I do all the bookings for the rooms. I do a lot of the cleaning as well. I mean, this year I'm looking to get more help because we're busier. this coming year. And Paul does the ordering of the food, the cooking, and all of that side of things. Yeah. And he built the website, so he kind of keeps an eye on the back end of some of the more techie stuff.
So what would you say are the really great things about being on Alston Moor?
I just love the fact that there's so much more space. I mean, the southeast was crowded and stressy, and you couldn't park your car near your house anymore, and it was just awful.
Oh dear.
And the job was doing my head in. And then also just meeting people. It's quite funny when you're in a larger place, it's much harder to meet people. And I've met some really fabulous people here, and people are I just love it. I haven't had a single day, and we've had our struggles, but I haven't had a single day. The only sort of regret, I guess, would be I'm quite a long way now from my family and my friends, so I left all of them behind, bless them. So I don't get down that much anymore.
Do you find that living where you live, that they come up?
Yeah.
Because it's a lovely place to be.
Yeah. I've got a big family gathering coming up in September. But I do have a 93-year-old mother who lives in Battle, and she can't come up anymore. No. But I try and get down a couple of times a year, when we can.
Yeah, that's super hard, isn't it? I only live a couple of hours from my dad, and that's difficult.
It is, yeah.
So if you were going to give some advice to anybody thinking of starting a business, it doesn't have to be an accommodation business. What advice would you give in hindsight? You
really have to like and want to do what you're doing if you haven't done it before. So it's got to be something that means a lot personally to you, and something that you feel that you're good at. I mean, neither Paul nor I have any financial savvy whatsoever. So that would be extremely handy if somebody thinking of setting up a business could perhaps do a little bit of number crunching first. But then often it just goes off.
I was going to say,
even if you've got your figures written down, you can't stick to them, can you? So.
And I think there's something about if you do a forecast or any plans, that it's not about that you might be disappointed. It's actually like, are you living within constraints then? Are you limiting yourself to expect this much, or are you kind of actually expecting too much to expect this much? And actually, I think, I hope you'd agree with this, but since moving into a life where it costs less to live because of the area you live in, you don't need as much. Therefore, actually, financial savvy is not that important as long as you can keep the
business going.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a struggle. We are mortgaged, and also with the fuel costs, But like you say, our personal expenses are virtually non-existent. Yeah. We don't go anywhere or do anything.
Exactly.
So at least we're not, we don't have to have a lot of money for ourselves, because that wouldn't happen.
What do you miss about London and that?
Funnily enough, I do miss London. I don't miss where I lived, which was in Kent, a place called Southborough, particularly at all. But the vibe in London, it's just, I lived there for many, many years, and I still love the buzz. I love the vibe. I wouldn't want to live there anymore, and I wouldn't want to work there anymore. No. But I still love going and just spending, a day or two there. I just love it. So again, I do miss that.
You spend a day or two there, and you also spend what you've earned throughout the whole year.
Exactly. So my trips down to London are extremely rare.
Yeah.
Literally once a year, if that.
Yeah.
Probably
I think
less.
That's what I miss about, whilst we made the choice to live a more frugal life and be able to live kind of a calmer, less stressed life, you do miss that ability to just go, actually, I could just go to a show.
Well, this is it, because I worked at the National Theatre for 18 years. I was so lucky. I got the job when I was very young, and I stayed right on. I started when I was 20, and I stayed till I was into my 30s. 16 years, so it's about 35, 36. And in that time, I saw so much theatre, and I'm obsessed with theatre anyway. It's my life.
Yeah.
So I must admit that is the biggest thing I miss personally.
Yeah.
Because I've always either been in theatre, worked in theatre, or been to see shows cheaply because I was in the box office. So we just rang mates up.
Brilliant.
And I could see whatever I wanted.
Perks of the job.
Perks of the job. And that is a big... You know, I mean, we're not in a cultural desert here by any means. I mean, there's some lovely little theatres in the area, but it's obviously my job is very antisocial. So the only time I have is the winter to actually go out in the evenings. Yeah. Because in the summer, forget it.
Yeah, that's true. It's not antisocial, but you don't get to...
The hours are, because obviously we're busiest in the evenings and at weekends, which is the time when lots of other people are kicking back thinking, right, my 9 to 5's over now, got the evening to myself. That's completely the reverse for us.
But it's like, it's socialising for work is different for socialising for pleasure, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And it is work. I mean, you're still having to sit there waiting for people to check in, do they want dinner? You know, all of that. So we don't really go out at all, except in the winter.
Yeah. So going back to theatre.
Yes.
Like I say, it's not a cultural desert. I have to mention.
Oh. Oh no, you don't.
Oh yes, I do.
No, you don't.
For those of you watching, listening, might not know. I recently was witness to Amanda's. Very impressive flamboyant role as
Merci Beaucoup.
Merci Beaucoup.
Although I wasn't French.
Merci Beaucoup in there's 2 pantomimes, isn't there? So I'll get this right. In the pantomime for Alston Moor Federation, in aid of Alston Moor Federation.
it was a independent panto put on independently completely, but raising money for the school actually for the PTA.
It's the PTA, yeah.
Or PTAF as it is now. No, Parent Teachers and Friends Association. There's an F in there somewhere. I'm not quite sure where you put the F, but put the F.
So tell us about how you got into that, because obviously you've got history of theatre. So tell us about how that happened.
It's not the first thing I've done since I've been here. Right. So Sarah Stanford set up a drama group as well a couple of years ago, and that has just been fantastic. Again, I'm really limited about the number of things I can do. So I've done 2 pantos prior to this one that we just did in January, and we also last winter I did a show for part of Sarah's group, which was an adaptation of A Christmas Carol, and that was done in the downstairs of the Cumberland.
Oh right, yep.
And that was just, I loved it. That was just really challenging.
What part did you?
Well, we all had to play all different parts.
Oh, right.
So Sarah had written this brilliant adaptation, and it did put us right under the spotlight because we all had to be Victorian ghosts, as it were, in Victorian nightgowns. But then we'd don a hat and come on as somebody, put a scarf on, put a bonnet on, put a shawl on. So we all played multiple characters, but we all played Scrooge at some point as well. Oh, wow. So women, men, whatever, put the top hat on, put Scrooge's coat on and come on and be a scene doing Scrooge.
So is that on the internet anywhere? Was that filmed?
I don't think it was, because it was very dark down there.
Right.
And I don't think it was. I mean, they're not even that many photos, sadly.
Right.
But the audience was very limited. It was done like a traverse staging, so you had a row of seats on either side of a longish bit, and then that was the street scene. So everything that took place in the street was there, and then you had your 2 acting areas either end. So there was literally just one row of seats on either side.
Because it is a long, thin room, isn't it?
Yeah. So we had a projection end, which gave you an idea of where you were, so you could see if you were, in Scrooge's office or his house, or the Cratchit's house. Yeah. But it was just amazing. Wow. It was really quite spooky, and it was very much about the Victorian life, about how bad it was in the workhouses, how the poverty was appalling. So it went into all of that as well.
So it was very much serious.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, there are the comic characters that come into it, but it wasn't just the ghost of Christmas past, Christmas present, and yet to come, it was the ghosts of all the dead Victorians who got a bit of a problem with Scrooge.
Oh, right. Yeah. So it was a little bit more philosophical than
it was and it was a great thing to be, and I loved it.
Brilliant.
So, but yeah, it's great to do something different, so we did that, and then this year obviously was,
and then you've gone
the
into
panto,
this,
which I loved.
Crazy character of Merci Beaucoup in the
with a
Pied
big
Piper.
red wig. Yes. And I loved it. It was great fun. The first time I've been a villain, out and out villain.
Oh, you played it well.
Thank you.
You did play it well.
I did enjoy it.
Yeah,
I did enjoy it.
It was brilliant.
But
and anything else? Is it?
No, because we are now going into silly season.
Yes.
And because we do evening meals, we really can't just go and leave the house. Once people have checked in, we have to be there. So I cannot do anything now until next winter. But Paul will be doing a bit of music. He's already committed himself to doing a bit of music here and there.
Yeah.
So he'll be fine. He can do that. Because we can always, say it's chef's night off. But I still have to be there because
Chef's
I check.
allowed a night
Of
off.
course.
Yes.
But I still check everyone in and, deal with any issues or whatever. So.
Brilliant.
So that's unfortunately, yes, my lovely theatre bit will be over now until next winter.
But you do strike a balance, and I think that's what we learn to do in Alston Moor as well, isn't it? We strike a balance. We make hay while the sun shines, literally.
Yeah.
And then in winter we do what we want to do.
Yeah, and
that's how we
it's
work
like the bistro nights are very much like a bit of PR, because that gets people in who live here.
Yes.
So it's for the people on the moor.
Yeah.
It's not for tourists. It's literally dinners that people pre-order, they come along, and we're always sold out. Everyone loves them.
Yeah, no, I've noticed that.
And as I say, for our own entertainment or whatever, we do a bit of theatre as well. So,
Brilliant.
But like you say, you have to just keep going with the seasons.
Yes,
very
absolutely.
different in the winter.
So, like I asked Lou last week, because we're predominantly looking at this season women in business.
Yes.
How would you say that you are successful as a woman in business now?
Yes, I would.
And how would you define that? What does
I
that
think
look like for you?
there's nothing like, even though it's very nail biting and white knuckle riding, there's nothing like being your own boss and having worked for some quite oppressive organisations, not the National Theatre, that was fine, but later. You do realise how important it is to be in charge of your own destiny, and if you fall on your sword, you fall on your sword, but you've tried and it's you. So it's hard to make the adjustment, particularly when you go into business with your husband, your partner. That's quite hard, because you've never had to work with that person before. So that's quite a challenge. But we have found that we have strengths in different areas. So although we're quite different, we make a whole, if you see what I mean. And we play to our strengths. And so I definitely think that the key to be successful is to have a good partnership, good strong base. And also you start to see, when you get return visitors, we're now getting retreat weekends where we get big groups and they come several times a year.
Yes.
And you think, well, you must be doing something right. We've got amazing reviews on booking.com.
Yeah.
I mean, off the scale. So, things like that makes you start thinking, well, okay, there are difficult times, but we must be doing something right.
Yeah. So again, you're getting that external validation from reviews, which just reassures you that what you know in yourself and in your partnership, what you know is true.
Exactly, because obviously we hadn't done that before. We didn't know how to run a B&B. I got the job at Nent Hall to try and see how it all worked, and also in the pub to see how it all worked. So you pick up a few ideas along the way, but we'd never actually done it ourselves. So yes, it's validation, external validation, exactly, because you wouldn't get reviews that were good. You get people not coming back. All those things make you think, oh, okay, this is all right. This
yeah,
is right.
it's important sometimes.
It's really important.
Just to know that you're doing it right.
It really is.
Yeah.
That and even if there's little things that people might pick up on, you think, well, I needed to know that. I needed to know, the signposting's rubbish or whatever. You just need to know.
Well, I always say to people, like, just tell me now.
Yeah.
If there's something going wrong, then tell us now, because this can be fixed and this can be sorted.
Yeah, exactly.
And constructive, not criticism, but constructive ideas is absolutely what you need, because everything can always get better. And as long as you understand that everything can be better, then we make it better, don't we?
Exactly.
But what infuriates me about reviews is when they don't tell you at the time that something went wrong, and then they put it on a review, and it's like,
why didn't you tell me?
I didn't know.
You're right there as
we're
well.
Literally next door.
Yeah, I know. I know.
But yeah, like most of the time, you're just like, it just gives you that reassurance that you're doing the right thing, and you just can keep moving forward the way you are doing.
Yeah, and we intend to do more and more this year. And we've got a unique selling point with our bike lockup. Right. You can get nearly 20 bikes in there. Wow. So you can hang them up on the wall. You can plug in your e-bikes. It's a converted garage, so there's plenty of space. Yeah. Things like that. We just thought, should we do that? Oh yeah, and they love it. So you get whole big groups of cyclists using the lockup.
So you mentioned the Booking.com. They've got quite a lot of advertising out of this, haven't they?
They're a necessary evil.
Yeah,
sadly.
I know. We did the same. We went on them.
I wasn't going to, but then I'm glad I did now.
What would you say? Like, if you want to do a plug, if this goes anywhere, if you were going to do a plug, what would you want to plug? And also, like, have you won any awards? Because we talked about awards last week with Lou. Have you won any? Because they are very much about, like, you have to put yourself out there, put yourself up for even more judgment, almost, don't you?
Yeah, we haven't yet. I mean, there are various things that we could think about doing. As I say, we got our 9.8 on Booking.com. Sorry, not mentioning them again.
Oh God!
Sorry, that's the last time. I promise you. Draw a line.
I've kept my language pretty good so far. Let's not spoil it now. After being called potty mouth by Simon. So let's not make me swear.
But no, we haven't. We haven't won anything. Quite bizarrely, on the other foot, I've been approached about 4 times now by 4 in a bed.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, and we've just down each time. No! I just thought it's just not really our scene, and to make good telly, it's got to be bitchy. And also, they really do expect you to shut up shop and disappear off to various different other B&Bs.
Yeah. No, you can't
and I was like,
that.
I don't want to do that. I can't afford to do that. No. Exactly. So I've politely turned them down. So we don't even have the accolade of having appeared on television, despite them asking me 4 times.
Yeah, it's a bit of a minefield, isn't it? Television.
Oh, I just don't. And their argument is, but you get so many more bookings, and I'm like, but I don't really want to be on the programme, so it's just not my thing.
No, Moz is the same. He won't be on television over anything. I was on television once on The Weakest Link. She made me look like the scariest person in the world, and it was as I just left teaching. And it was awful. It made me look absolutely dreadful, and I'll never be on television ever again.
No, you can't control how you're going to be perceived.
The way they edit it is dreadful, so I agree entirely with your decision.
Yes, thank you.
And you don't need
that
because it's enough. Everything that you already do is enough, and like you say, you're getting repeat bookings, you're getting a reputation. I mean, ask Google.
Yes, even bigger reputation than I ever imagined.
You're a business advocate for the Royal Bank of Scotland.
Yes, I need to start being suited and booted once again.
I think you need to go back to them and ask for some more money.
Yeah. Don't you ever pay me for that?
Not quite sure what that was about, but please, bring it on. Right, well, I think I've asked all my questions.
I've thoroughly enjoyed chatting.
Thank you very much. It's always interesting.
I just love living here. So there you are. I've never had a day of regret, even though it's been a struggle.
Same.
Never.
It's going to snow tomorrow.
I know. Funny old place, isn't it?
I know. Thank you very much, Amanda. It's been lovely.
Thank you very much for having me. And goodbye.
So, if you've got this far, we've clearly done something right. Thanks for listening. I'll be posting any relevant links discussed in the comments below. Feel free to comment, but be nice. Don't need to see any horrible comments. And if you'd like to take part in future episodes, just get in touch. There's always room for more chat.